Imagine your country's election getting targeted by a tidal wave of digital lies. That's exactly what happened in Taiwan. But this isn't a story about defeat. It's about how a democracy fought back and, believe it or not, won. It's the defining challenge of our digital age, isn't it? We've all heard that old saying, right? A lie can get halfway around the world before the truth has a chance to get its pants on. So what happens when an entire election hangs in the balance? How do you possibly fight back? And their answer wasn't what you'd expect. No censorship, no shutting things down. They did something, well, something much smarter, something more democratic. Let's dig into exactly how they pulled it off. All right, so to really get their solution, you have to understand the sheer scale of the problem they were facing. We're talking about a full-on digital assault on their entire democratic process. Okay, so picture this. Taiwan is one of the most plugged-in places on Earth. Seriously, their politics lives and breathes online. But leading up to their 2024 election, that digital space, it was turned into a weapon. Social media feeds were just flooded with all this sketchy content. And the real target, you see, wasn't just one candidate. It was trust itself. Trust in the whole democratic system. And this wasn't your run-of-the-mill misinformation either. We're talking the whole playbook. We saw doctored videos, AI-generated deepfakes of candidates saying things they never said, viral posts screaming about hacked voting machines. I mean, they used everything from super convincing articles to simple, catchy memes, all designed to create this thick fog of confusion. And the scale of this? Just wow. Taiwan's own National Security Bureau found that a staggering 40% of the fake political stuff they were tracking came from coordinated networks outside the island. This was not random noise, folks. This was a targeted campaign. And this is so important to understand. The ultimate goal here isn't always just to get one person elected. It's to create chaos. It's to make people so cynical, so exhausted, that they just check out completely and start thinking, you know what, I can't trust anything I see anymore. So, faced with all that, how did Taiwan fight back? Well, not with censorship. Instead, they built what people are now calling a digital immune system, a totally different way of dealing with this problem. So instead of going down that typical authoritarian path, blocking websites, deleting posts, Taiwan went the exact opposite direction. They leaned into their democratic values, radical transparency, insane speed, and, crucially, public education. They decided to arm their citizens with information, not shield them from it. Their whole strategy really came down to three main things. First, they teamed up with independent, non-governmental fact-checkers. Second, they worked with the big tech platforms to add context to viral lies, not just hit the delete button. And third, and this is huge, they started young, teaching digital literacy in schools to build critical thinking right from the get-go. And one of the coolest tools they used? These fact-checking bots. Seriously, imagine you get a weird message from your aunt on a messaging app. In Taiwan, you can just forward it straight to a bot and boom, you get a verified, fact-checked response in minutes. It's literally like having a truth detector in your pocket. But look, the government's strategy was only one piece of the puzzle. The real secret weapon, the thing that made Taiwan's defense so incredibly resilient, well, that came from the people themselves. And this, right here, is the idea that changes everything. Technology can be fooled. Algorithms, they can be manipulated. But an engaged, educated, and mobilized public, that is so much harder to deceive. You have these amazing civic tech groups like G0, that's Gov0, building their own tools to help everyday citizens verify information. So when some crazy viral claim popped up, hundreds of volunteers would just jump on it, crowdsourcing the fact-checking to debunk the lie in hours, not days. They literally turned social media, the very thing being used for the attacks, into their greatest defense. And here's where it gets really, really smart. They realized that the best way to fight a viral lie isn't with some boring, dry correction. It's with something even more viral. They started fighting fire with fire, using humor and memes to just totally neutralize the threat. Taiwan's digital minister, Audrey Tang, put it perfectly. Think about it. A dry fact check might get a few shares, right? But a hilarious meme that also happens to debunk a lie, that thing spreads like wildfire. It just completely disarms the anger and fear that disinformation feeds on. And here is the proof in the pudding. On election day itself, a deepfake video of a candidate supposedly giving a concession speech started to spread. This whole system, the government, the bots, the citizen volunteers, it all kicked into high gear, and they debunked that thing in less than 20 minutes.
20 minutes, the truth actually outran the lie.
So, what can we all learn from this? What does this masterclass in digital democracy mean for the rest of the world? Well, the lessons here are clear, they're powerful, and honestly, they apply everywhere.
When you boil it all down, the key takeaways from Taiwan's success are pretty simple. Number 1, speed beats lies. Responding in minutes, not days, is absolutely critical. Number 2, transparency builds trust, even if it means admitting you don't have all the answers. And maybe most important of all, empower your citizens. Don't try to silence them.
And this isn't just some academic theory, it's a proven success story. Democracies all over the world, from Japan to Lithuania, are now looking at Taiwan's playbook to beef up their own defenses. It's really become a beacon of hope in this crazy digital age.
And that really brings it all back to us, doesn't it? Because what this story shows is that every single one of us has a role to play. We're all part of the network. We're all gatekeepers of information. We are the human firewall. So the question is, what will you choose to share and what will you choose to question?